Here we have a winching demonstration using Utility 89. The winch is plugged in the cab. You can see that right next to the red strap. That's where the winch plugs in. I have the cable going around to the front. I'm using a doubled system, meaning I'm coming off the winch. I'm going to my winching point, which is the tree. On the tree I have a tree saver, a shackle to a pulley. Note how the shackle is where the looped part is through the tree saver, and the straight part is where the pulley is. I come back to the U89 and I have my hook top side open, hooked to a strap, not to itself, not to a metal point on the UTV. So I have it tied to the UTV using the strap. Then on the winch I'm out just about as far as I can go. We see the drum here. The drum right there. This is the cable. That's what's going to create the tension that lets the winch do what it's supposed to do. This is the remote control, in, out. When I winch in, the winch is spinning, the cable is going in. You don't want to do this continuously for too long. The winch will heat up. It's like a starter motor, and it will burn up the unit. As we leave that lower wrap and we go to the next layer, we're actually reducing the amount of pulling power that the winch has. The winch has its greatest power on this lowest wrap. So now, once we start going on to this next wrap, we have less pulling power on this winch. And we're wrapping twice as much cable as distance we're actually moving. We keep our fingers away from that area. We don't hand speed the winch cable. If we do, it's hand over hand because there are sharp edges on that cable. This winch will kill the battery on U89, leaving you stranded. So keep that in mind. If you're stuck in the snow or somewhere, you do too much winching, you may need to, bring up the RPMs or stop for a little while and let the battery recoup. We got a nice good clean wrap on that second wrap. We're now onto the third layer, but this is also our weakest point in the pulling power of this winch. This is like a 3,000 pound winch, and out on this outer wrap we probably only have about 1,000 pounds of pulling power. So keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons you want to double it over. Not only do you get more cable out, but you're doubling your pulling power. It's slower because you're moving twice as much cable for half the distance. As long as the cable keeps spooling nicely, you can keep going. If the cable starts to spool on top of itself, it will bunch up and give us problems, at which point we would have to stop, pull the cable out, and redo it. Okay, so now we're on to the top outermost layer, and you see now I didn't get a good wrap because the cable got too far over. So what are we going to do about that? We would pull the cable out, wind it back in nice and snug, and then continue winching.